Good day, you gorgeous humans. I'm Chloe the Elven Mage. I wanted to start this recording right here today so that you can enjoy the glorious bird song with me. So I'm just going to be silent for a few breaths. There's so many layers of sound in the bird song. I don't know about you, but I find bird song one of the highest vibration frequencies. When I listen to bird song, it feels angelic to me. I feel like I'm just lifted out of any burden and any human heaviness that weighs me down. I also feel that on a day like today, when the bird song is so glorious and marvelous, for me this is a sign of awakening. It's a sign of collective energy rising, and the birds are celebrating, and the birds are here singing their song of this beautiful high frequency, saying, yes, we feel you, we hear you. Yeah, I've always been that way. I can even listen to like recordings of bird song and have that same real feeling of being uplifted and wonderful. So I'm really hoping that you're going to hear some incredible bird song with me today. Well, welcome back to my wandering and ponderings. It is a beautiful sunny day today, but this is the first time I've had the opportunity. Oh my goodness, there's daffodils sprouting in the ground already. Can you see? It's going to be so pretty here. Or is it snowdrops, perhaps? This is so exciting. This woodland does get completely filled with daffodils. Okay, that's exciting. Flowers as well. Flowers and birds really lift my spirits. But as I was saying, this is the first time 2026 that I've had the opportunity to be filming outside, because the weather has been crazy. We've had the first week of Jan was beautiful snow, which then turned to like thick black ice. So I didn't leave the house for a week. And then there's been a lot of rain. So this is officially the first Wandering and Pondering video of 2026. So welcome, those of you that are new. Hello to my new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining my channel. For those of you that don't know, I do this weekly video where I go walking around the beautiful English Oxfordshire countryside where I currently live. I will be moving this year though, where I just walk and talk, wander and ponder about anything that's been on my heart, sometimes just to catch up, sometimes a chat about the collective energy, sometimes connecting with trees and other beings and spirits that reside within these beautiful natural places. And yeah, just, if anything, hope that you can take in some of the peace and some of the medicine that these beautiful places give so generously and so abundantly. So I just thought, because it's been a while, I thought I would do just a quick catch up today, really, in this video. Just let you know what I've been up to, what I'm doing, what's changing, what's growing, even in the depths of winter. I don't know about you, probably depends where you are in the world and where you are in life, where you are on your own journey. But for me, this winter time, it feels so potent with life and with magic. I feel, and I know from experience, that a lot of people are going through awakenings, dark nights of the soul, big growth journeys, perhaps things that feel like everything's falling to pieces, as everything under the surface of that breakdown is actually the universe realigning and readjusting things for a higher purpose. Oh, just make sure I don't trip over here. Oh, that glorious sunshine. I'm bringing us back to the pine forest today. I didn't want to wander too far from where I live because it's still quite icy and it's extremely muddy as well from all the rain. So I've come back to this beautiful, mysterious pine forest. Those of you who've seen some of my past videos, you'll remember this place. Those of you who are new, I hope you enjoy the energy of this mysterious pine forest, which has just been, it was planted, obviously, the trees you'll see, because they're in these perfect rows. But there's just something about the energy of not only the trees, but the trees. Oh, I just saw some squirrels shooting up the tree. Not only the trees, but the light and the energy and the mood and the colour, but also in the earth here. It's like you walk into this pine forest and time just freezes. So I'm excited as the weather begins to get a bit warmer. And before I leave this beautiful place, I will be filming as many videos as I can here in the pine forest, especially meditations, and things like that. So let me know if there's any particular content that you'd like me to film in this pine forest. Yeah, I'd love to honour that. It'd be really fun. I filmed a couple of old yoga videos in here and that was awesome too. And there's often construction works and aeroplanes that go overhead, but I feel like once you're in this pine forest, which we're now stepping into, it's like everything stops and the world just goes quiet. And there's so many birds here. And what's even cooler, I'm just going to turn around so you can see the forest, but what's even cooler, on a windy day, look at that beautiful energy of the trees. Yeah, what's even more cool is that on a windy day, you can hear all the trees creaking. They're like, so sometimes I just literally come in here and admire all of the sounds of nature, and it's fabulous. Yeah, it's a blessing. So hopefully you get to experience just a little minuscule bit at least of that magic with me. What a sexy backdrop. These beautiful trees. I love it in here. Oh my goodness. Okay, I think this is too far away for me to show you, but a whole load of deers just ran on the other side of the forest. Oh, that's so beautiful. Okay, that's a good omen. Anyone who's watching this, I can't remember what the meaning of the animal deer is. I'll have to look it up. I know that a stag is like a guide through an awakening process. So a group of deer could be confirming what I said at the start of this, that everyone, not everyone perhaps, but a lot of souls and humans collectively are going through this awakening and waking up to the truth of who they are, who you are, who I am, who we are, which is not what we've been told, which is not what we have perceived ourselves as previously, but it is so much more, and yet so much more simple. And I'm so excited, you know, not only for my own journey and my own evolvement and transformation into becoming more magical and more weird and more wonderful, but witnessing everyone really coming into their own. And I predict for this year So we're going to see a lot more people, a lot more individuals stepping out of their shell and stepping into their own timelines and their own mission. So I really feel and see a lot of people stepping away from, follow the crowd, follow the leader, less of that worshipping of a spiritual leader and more of community building and sisterhood and brotherhood and family building, where we all support and heal and inspire one another to become our own hero, our own main character energy. And I find that really exciting. And that's the work that I'm being drawn to as well at the moment. I am in the final stages of creating a brand new service, which I'm really excited about, because it feels like the service that is the most true to me. It brings me the most excitement, the most joy, the most creativity. It's what I'm most passionate about. And yeah, this service is going to be that, supporting those who resonate with the specific theme of the service, which it's a little bit niche, but I feel that a lot of people on a spiritual journey will resonate with what it is in the service. And that's all I'm going to tell you for now. I want it to be a surprise for when I launch it, which will be in the next 2 weeks. It's going to be bigger than anything I've ever done, and really whole and complete. Yeah, and it's just magical. So exciting. And I suppose that brings me back to what I felt that I wanted to chat about today is what I've been up to. So where are we? We're midway through December, and I've mentioned this in a few of my videos and some of my content recently, but December was a real challenging month for me. I got very unwell, and I just allowed my vibration to drop. I allowed essentially the darkness to get the better of me, but darkness that was not my own, darkness that was the programmed darkness, the collective darkness. I allowed that to get the better of me, and because of that, because my own frequency dropped, I stopped getting work, the money stopped coming in, which dropped me even further, down into that abyss of doom and gloom. And yeah, it was a real breakdown moment for me. It was just like, I just broke, which is great. I love it when I break, because then all the magic really happens. But we don't always have to break. It doesn't always have to be hard and challenging ourselves and torturing ourselves. It doesn't always have to be that way, and that's really what I want to talk about. But what does come with a breaking of ourselves, a breaking and an opening, is sorry, I'm just marveling in the pine trees. I'm just going to see if I can stand. Yeah, look at that. Let's get right in the center while I talk to you. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, what comes with a breaking is this incredible opportunity of opening ourselves up, like an egg cracking, and all of that goo and uncomfortable truth can come spilling out of us. So we're laid bare. All of our emotions, everything is out on the table, and with that can give us the opportunity to crawl back into a cave of past versions of self that feel comfortable. It's an illusion. Or we can look at all of what's been spilled and all of those parts of ourselves that are now out in front of us, laid bare, and say, wow, okay, I'm going to take ownership for all of this. I'm going to take ownership for all of this and choose consciously to make a change, to really step forwards. And I think one of the main things about being ill and being, really, really feeling into how long it can take to get back to feeling normal again. It's not just the bed rest. That's fine. I can take, usually for me, if I feel unwell, if I get a cold or something like that, which is not very often, 24 hours in bed, and then I'm able to continue things slowly again. But it's the getting back to feeling in that high vibrational, full whole frequency again that takes so long. And it really, really made me appreciate feeling healthy, feeling alive, feeling well, feeling vibrant. And it really made me realize, why would I do anything to myself that would jeopardize that? And yeah, there was definitely a clicking within that. So yeah, since drinking a couple of glasses of wine 3 months ago, I declared to myself and also to a couple of other people that this is it now. I'm never ever going to drink again, unless it's medicinal. And that was a powerful spell, because I've been around a fair bit of people drinking and socializing and drinking alcohol over these past 3 months, and I promise you, I swear to you, there has not been even a whisper within me that has wanted to partake. And that is monumental. And sometimes making these decisions and declaring them can be so powerful. But I'll tell you the secret of what has been different this time is that I'm doing it for my higher self. I'm doing it for the love of my higher self, and therefore I'm doing it for the love of the highest good and higher selves of all. It's not about me. It's not about pleasing anyone else. It's actually in service of my highest good, my highest self, and therefore the highest good of all. And there's something about, if you think of 12 steps programs, right? AA, you give yourself to a higher power. And there is something that really works about that. But yeah, it was doing it for my highest self. Would my highest self partake in anything that made her or makes her feel lesser than magical, abundant, expansive and amazing? No. Not willingly, not out of choice. So something really clicked within that. And also I have, for 2 weeks now, not eaten any sugar. I feel absolutely freaking amazing, by the way. Jumping out of bed in the morning, full of energy. I have upped my supplements. I have, for about 3 months as well, the same time as, probably less than that, a couple of months, I've gone back to where I was a few years ago, of eating a high protein, 0 sugar. Okay, I'm still having a little bit of honey and things like dates, but no kind of refined sugar whatsoever. High protein, almost no carb, plant-based diet. Eating high vibrational foods, ordering my foods from organic farms, being very mindful about what I put into my body, praying to my food every time I eat, putting in those little ritual steps into everything, because I am blessing my higher self. I am worshipping within the temple of my divine inner wisdom. And so yeah, that's really where I'm at. And then on top of that, you know, deciding that this year is going to be a year of big shifts and big changes for me, moving house, like moving into my own space. So what do I need for that? I need money, you know, because I want to get furniture and all of these things. And to shift, to quantum leap, to shift into a new timeline, we have to amplify that energy. So I've been doing daily, I've set myself a 90-day challenge, daily journaling as soon as I wake up. So no phone, nothing else. As soon as I wake up, writing gratitude, noting down any money blocks, alchemizing them into positive money affirmations. I've been meditating, lifting and raising my vibrational frequency and feeling myself in my new home. I've been dancing to abundance songs, just like really joyful, high vibration, abundance songs, and not letting anything get in the way of doing that ritual. And yeah, and just being really aware of what I do and what I don't do that makes me A, feel amazing, and B, not feel good, and really focusing my awareness on that so that I can consciously choose to do those things, keep doing those things that keep me in this joyful, peaceful, kind, loving, high vibrational state. But yeah, changing what I eat has been a huge one for me. My guides and my higher self have been hinting at me for ages to go back to where I was in like 2020, 2021, super clean eating, high vibration, gone back there now, because these are all ways for us to support ourselves in making big shifts, big exciting shifts in our lives. Yeah, and I'm reading a book as well at the moment. I flip between fantasy, fiction, and then kind of personal development or spiritual, or just really interesting scientific non-fiction. So I'm reading one at the moment about manifesting, but not in the really sort of woo-woo new age fluffy stuff. It's like really practical. Yeah, and I wanted to share because it's really what I have been feeling from my guides as well. And it's that, you know, if you want to be something or embody something that you feel you're not, or you feel that is so far away from who you are now, what do you need to do? Consistent practice, consistent. And I think, I really feel that is the missing ingredient for so many of us, especially, you know, those of us who want to escape the matrix. This was where I really wanted to lead this conversation today. Those of us who want to escape the matrix, by that I mean those of us who don't want to rely on an external source for financial security, those of us who want to live our lives as we choose, spend our money as we choose, totally free and sovereign. Those of us who wish to perhaps build our own business or find other ways of bringing in income that is outside of the system. Yeah, just to have complete freedom. And what we need to do that is to be consistent. Be consistent, because it takes, you know, if we think about it, it depends obviously who you are and where you are in your life and your journey and what your mindset is and what your family is, your culture. All of those things come into consideration. But if you think about it, imagine that we're saying today is day one. You have a whole lifetime of conditioning and dark web programming, which is what I call the matrix, the dark forces, the powers that be that are trying to restrict us from being our full multidimensional abundant selves, magical, mystical, fantasy selves, that dark web, we have to unwind an entire lifetime of that, which we can do quicker than a lifetime. But it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a day, a week, or a month. It is consistently peeling, unraveling, cleaning, healing, growing, resting, pausing, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And I feel for a lot of people, this concept of consistency and, never-ending healing can feel overwhelming, or it can bring this mindset of, well, I'm not even going to try if it means that I have to dedicate my whole life to improving myself. I get that. But I want to give or offer an opinion that could just be your ego speaking. That's not your soul. Your soul and your higher self is here to learn and experience and grow and be a warrior and fight and keep going. So I invite you to, for a moment, think of someone who you really admire. It could be an artist, like a musician. It could be an athlete. It could be someone from the past. Perhaps there's like a historical leader or a mythical figure. Think about them and consider their journey. There is no one who gets close, even close to mastering their craft or whatever it may be, without that unbridled dedication. It's that behind closed doors, little consistency that builds you up and builds you up and builds you up until you need to change it and then create a new consistency. But that is the key. And I've really noticed that left, right and centre, there's always going to be a voice, a person in your life, a distraction of something that is going to tell you that, oh, you don't need to do that. You can just eat and drink what you want and talk the way you want and watch whatever TV you want, and you can still be this amazing person. And it's like, to a degree, yes. But if doing any of those things does not make you feel like you are putting your highest self first, then I tend to disagree. And, finding your limitations. I honestly believe some people can probably watch horror movies, and because they love it, it raises their vibration. But for some people like me, I find very, very, very realistic, brutal, bloody violence to be to be really distressing for me. So I wouldn't watch something like that. And for me, it's crazy, like even eating bread lowers my vibrational frequency. So now I need to make sure that I eat like sprouted protein bread, things like that. It's like these tiny little love letters to our highest self. I know that eating this makes me feel good. I know that watching really cheesy, romantic programs from time to time and crying my eyes out feels great, and I'm gonna own it. I know that reading fantasy books makes my heart explode with inspiration. On the flip side of that, I know that drinking alcohol has, for me, absolutely zero benefits. Zero. I know that eating foods, processed foods, fast foods, which I haven't eaten in years and years and years, thank you, Goddess, for guiding me, make me feel ill. So it's finding those things and consistently living your life in a way that is like a prayer and a worship to your highest self. And it can take a few weeks in the beginning, a few weeks to feel a shift. Always, I find, when you start making lifestyle changes, you feel worse before you feel better. But then when that shift starts to come in, it's like your entire being can breathe and move and rejoice once again. So yeah, I wanted to offer that, because we really are right now in real time going through a war, spiritual warfare. You know, there's threats of wars externally, but in actuality and reality, we are going through an internal war, of spiritual war, a war on our subconscious, where this dark web of the dark forces of the matrix, which I see as like these black and red wires gripped around us, they are constantly trying to encourage us to make choices that are not in service of our highest selves. And the best way that we can battle that is through kind, loving consistency. And what comes with kind, loving consistency is, you know, we're still going to have low days. We're still going to have days where the world seems so overwhelming and we feel tired. And it's okay on those days to say, okay, I'm not going to do everything that was on my to-do list today. I actually feel like today I really just want to lay down, read a book and drink a hot chocolate. However, tomorrow I'm going to treat as a completely fresh start. And there's beauty in that too. Take each day as it comes. Wake up every morning, let go of everything that happened yesterday or beyond that, and start each day fresh. How do I feel today? Okay, what do I have energy to do today? And if you feel low energy, what is there that I can do to make myself fill up a little bit more? What does my heart want me to do? What does my body need from me right now? What would my higher self do? What would my higher self do? Yeah, so that's where I'm at the moment. Really putting that consistent, kind, daily practice in service of my highest good before anything else. And yes, really honouring the birds. Really honouring that as humans, we all have different lives, different responsibilities, different situations where we live. I totally get that. But each and every one of us has room to grow. Each and every one of us. And I want nothing more than for you to feel that expansive joy and glow that comes from within when you start saying yes to putting yourself first. Whether it's putting 10 minutes, a 10-minute timer on your phone in the morning and just writing about how you feel, to, 2 hours a day, whatever it may be. Just finding that practice and just doing it no matter what, not letting paying the bills come first, not letting work come first. No, because what I have come to learn through this is that the more that we put our commitments to worshipping our higher self and putting our self-care practices first, the more we commit to that, the more that everything else starts to ease and starts to become less of a burden on our shoulders. It's like just a magic formula. Putting ourselves first, doing the things that make us feel good and consistent, and like we're releasing things that no longer serve. When we do that, the abundance comes because we are raising our vibrational frequency through the act of self-love. And that, my friend, is magic. It is manifestation. It is inner alchemy. And you can do it. You can do it. If I can do it, someone who has a crazy ADHD, creative brain that is in 10 different dimensions at once, you can do it, my friend. You can do it. But before I finish today, didn't want to make this too much of a long one. Let me just turn around. So, oh, I think I'm under some amazing birds as well, but we'll go back to this gorgeous view of the forest. Also, when it comes to consistency, you know, there is a dark side of that where it can feel like a punishment. So if it ever gets to that point, if you ever feel like you're punishing yourself with these practices, stop, take a break, and reassess what it is that you've committed to, and maybe see if there's some tweaks or different practices that would make you feel more joyful. And don't get me wrong, there's some days I wake up and I'm like, I can't be bothered to meditate. I really can't be bothered to dance. But I know now, through doing this consistently now for 22 days so far, that they make me feel great. So that now is my motivation to do it, whether I feel like it or not. So, and that is the power of consistency. Yeah, so sending you so much love. Can you see that? My breath's frosty. I don't know if you can see it. Let me know in the comments, first of all, what you would like to see me filming in the pine forest, what kind of content, and number two, what commitments or shifts your guides, your higher self, your heart, your soul has been encouraging you to make recently. I would love to know that. I would love for us all to share. There's been so many for me that I haven't even mentioned on this video because I could just warble on for ages, but I wanted to leave it there, short and sweet, with this glorious view of the pines. And I'm just going to close my eyes, and it once again finishing as we started the video today, taking a few breaths and just taking in the sounds of the forest. I might do a spin as well so we can get a view. I hope you enjoyed wandering and pondering through the pine forest today as much as I did. Sending you so much love. Until next time.